send it to my iPad and go on
Yeah,
my iPad. Hold
we are live.
on. Oh, okay. Let me come back in then.
Sorry about it. All right, perfect.
No worries.
And welcome everyone to another wonderful episode of Sister Soul Sessions. I am your host, Brittany.
And I am your co-host, Brandy.
Welcome to Sister Soul Sessions. We are so excited to have you, Sherrelle. For the people meeting you for the first time, can you share who you are and what drives your work as a life purpose spiritual coach? Oh, you're muted.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You're
I
fine.
hit it when we went live.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. I just wanted to say that it's a privilege because I've been watching you ladies on Instagram. So I was like, hey, I love the vibes. I like what you all are doing. But my name is Sherrelle. I'm known on social media and doing business as Coach Miss Bluntly Spoken, but um, as a life purpose spiritual coach and an ordained youth minister, um, I wear plenty hats, but they all align together in a sense, but with purpose for sure.
Yes, ma'am.
I love that. I was definitely stalking your Facebook page, and I was like, she does so much. And you're right, it does coincide with each other, and we definitely wanted to learn more about that. Brittany, did you want to ask her some questions concerning her journey? Or
Yeah, I kind of want to speak about Miss Bluntly Spoken, the name. That's such a powerful name. What does being bluntly spoken mean to you, and how did we arrive at that name?
So she kind of been with me forever, and I'm speaking third person because it's almost like a alter ego, but it's more so
Mm,
much of your higher self. And I
mm,
had to name her because everybody knows Sherelle. And I've always been a person that spoke my mind. I always been a person that spoke from truth, and I had to learn how to deliver my messages at the same time. So
mm,
when I walked into business, which was my purpose as far as my calling, because I was called at a young age as a ordained youth minister at the age of 11, 12.
wow.
So I got to, put things in perspective. But as where we're living at now, as far as this generation, it's more so of, um, meeting everybody where they're at. So I really don't want to be like, oh, I'm a preacher, oh, I'm a minister, because it kind of drive people away depending on their perspective of things.
Mm,
So, Coach Miss Bluntly Spoken, I need you to understand what place I'm coming from when I speak, because I really don't want to offend nobody, and I'm not coming from, a toxic place when I speak. But if I let you know ahead of time, then I think you know what you're kind of getting into when we
yes.
speak, if that makes sense. So
Right.
Miss Bluntly Spoken, and that's where that comes from. But as far as the coaching part,
mm.
life purpose coach and a spiritual coach is two different avenues, but I put it together because without the spirituality journey, you got to have purpose too, right?
Hmm.
So I kind of put that together. So life purpose spiritual coach. And again, Miss Bluntly Spoken, because I need you to know I'm being bluntly spoken. I'm being blunt when I say what I'm saying to you with all due respect.
Yes, as you should. And you have to come into those arenas, especially when it comes to the spiritual journey and growth, um, with no nonsense. So I love that you know to incorporate that and know how important it is. How do you meld, spirituality or spiritual life coaching with being an ordained minister? Like you said, you kind of don't want to offend anyone or know where someone's coming from in their spiritual journey. But how does that work for you?
Whew. Um, so I continue to be authentic, and I make sure I'm always led. I pray first and be
Hmm.
grounded in everything that I do. So with that being first, then that means that the ordained youth minister part with the life purpose spiritual coach is, to me, it's the same, but
Hmm.
it's all about your perspective of where you coming from and what you know and what you understand when you read your Bible, when you go to church. To me, it's the same. Your spiritual journey and being a minister, because I guess they're supposed to be on two different levels, but to me, that's
Right.
it's not. It's
Hmm.
not. To me, again, it's from your own perspective. So how I keep a balance, I meet everybody where they at.
Yeah.
I meet everybody where they're at because I'm still the student at the end of the day. I don't know it all. Nobody knows it all. We're all still growing. We all still learning. So because of that mindset, I meet everybody where they at. I have a doctrine background. My mama's a pastor. I come from a non-denomination holiness background, so I understand. So you want to speak Bible, you want to talk about the scriptures, you want to speak in tongues, you want to talk about laying hands, and I
Mm-hmm.
understand. But then also understand it from a different perspective too.
And seeing God in
Okay.
all that you do. So yeah, that's
Yes,
beautiful.
ma'am. That's why I
Hmm.
say it's the same to me.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's how I see it too. I read in one of your interviews that you had before, you spoke about turning challenges into fuel. Can you share like a pivotal challenge that really shifted the direction of your life and brought you to this journey?
I have many. I have several, but I'll stick with what aligns with what we're talking about tonight, or the frequency and the vibes that I'm getting. A lot of people, everybody, not a lot of people, but everybody is working in corporate America, right? Everybody gotta have a job. We gotta pay some bills. We gotta, or even pay for our dream that we're trying to do, or
Right.
however. But everybody got something to clock into a 9 to 5. I could say one of those challenges was working outside of my home because I love to work from home. Work from home guru. That's me. That's been my thing since
Great. Yes. Us
2011.
too.
But I took some time and I said, hey, let me step outside, and I stepped outside of my home to work around other females, other
Mhm.
women. And the experience was, I want to say, mighty. The experience was something that I can talk about for a long time because it was unexpected. And being in that atmosphere, just like say if we had to work together, I wouldn't expect us to not get along. I feel like we should, help each other. I think we should rub each other back. Where you lacking that, I'm gonna help you. Where I'm
Yeah.
lacking that, you're gonna help me. We're not for to be biting. We're not for to be speaking down upon each other. We're not about to be mocking each other. So that experience of working in that office setting
Mhm.
really put me in a mindset of this is
Yeah.
almost about to take your soul. You about to go to
Mhm.
jail, girl. Y- Listen, no ma'am. So I had to, be real with me and understand my peace, my boundaries,
Mhm.
and understand that we could bully the bully too. You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
have it in a certain way where we're not worrying about karma spinning the block on us because of what we have done to somebody else, because we're always accountable for what we do, right?
Yeah.
So because of that, I had to make some decisions and understand that that wasn't for me no more. So it pushed me because I was already kind of in business a little bit, just playing around with it, making shirts, doing little outfits, and my shirts was just morally, just basically like bold statements.
Yeah.
Because bluntly spoken, she always got something to say. She always got a statement. She always got something to say, but it's like a something to make you think too. You'd be like, I ain't think about that. Oh, I thought about that. Oh, that's true. Like my shirts and different things that I created before was always that. And then I got into making natural oils. So I was already doing that world and doing the like doing little parties for the women, just finding a way to get their attention, to speak how we're speaking, just having a conversation, just
Right.
dropping knowledge, dropping wisdom, just talking about the unspoken, because I love to talk about the unspoken things that people be shying away from, and we need to talk about it because we all need each other, especially as women. So
Yeah.
I would have little parties and things and gatherings like that. And like I said, I stepped out and I'd say, let me go into the office in the corporate America world. I never do it again, is what I'm gonna say. And that kind of pushed me to be like, hey, and that's what birth Gig Callers LLC. And I think,
Mhm.
yeah, that logo behind me, it needs to say Gig Callers LLC and staffing, because I added staffing to it because I want to help other people, to not just have a job, but to have an opportunity to be a business owner. You
Yeah.
can do what you can come, align with me, but still turn it into something for yourself too. So that job really pushed me to be like, never again. I don't want to work for nobody. I don't want to, you understand what I'm saying? And that's bad to say. And we was the color, we sisters, you know.
Yeah.
But I
No,
was,
that's real though. And what
yeah,
corporate America does to our relationships or um, our community and how we kind of remove our dreams from it or our own community building and
Mhm.
remembering that we're there to help each other up and not just fill that one spot that they have for us. So I think that's
yes.
where it comes from a lot of times too, where you have that negative energy. But I know you said you felt that, and that's what made you want to turn away from the corporate world. how do you feel like that helped you, create this and actually start wanting to, because you're still helping those same people pretty much, that kind of hurt you or, made you not want to work in that realm anymore. How do you help them now? And how has that helped you get to that point?
Uh, that experience, it just itself put the capital P in professional for me.
Mm,
I was able to polish up some things that I was a rough around the edges with, as far as say attire. There's a way to look. There's a way to
yeah.
present yourself. There's a time and a place for everything. Know how to turn it off and know how to turn it on. So I would say I picked up some things, but at the same time, being who I am, that was that it wasn't for me. So I would say, again, that's why I added the staffing part to it, because in that atmosphere, how to, I learned that I love not just to help people spiritually or help the kids, because I was a troubled teen. So that's why I have the youth
Mm,
minister part, and that's why I have the mentoring part of my business. So not just that, but also say, I know that you probably a felon, but shoot, I can help you still.
mhm.
There's some things that I can help you do. So even with the staffing part, just being in that atmosphere, I was like, yeah, I had to turn down certain people for certain things. So on my side, I don't have to do that no more.
Yeah.
I can help any and everybody, but you know, it's levels to it at the same time.
Mhm. Knowing your calling and, wanting to help people, knowing that there's, healing that needs to take place in the community, how do you make that a marketable business and actually get paid for it? Because I know a lot of times when it's your calling, you just want to help, you just help without getting paid. So how did you actually make sure that you are getting paid for this?
Ugh, that took years, because I
Okay.
felt like there was not a price to what God chose and called me to do.
Hmm.
I didn't want to step out there and be anything like when we have to go to church on Sunday or go to Bible study on Wednesday. No
Hmm.
disrespect. I'm not trying to pass around the collection plate on the gift that I was given.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be put in that type of category. So eventually I learned that when my clients book a session, you know, that's my time, and I
Okay.
had to, put a price on it. So eventually, after probably like 5 or 6 years, free
Mm.
session, free session, free session, free session, free session, I learned to put a price on it. But just for that, other than that, if you go on my website for like to get items that I create and stuff, of course, I got prices on that.
Yeah.
But as far as what you're saying, as far as mine, besides, it all go together. But I'm trying to
Yeah.
speak to how you're saying
Yeah.
it, as far as my speaking part and deliverance
Right.
of the messages and heal people, that
Yeah.
part of it. Um, yeah, it took a minute. It took a minute. It was rough.
Mhm.
It took a minute for me to put a price on it. And
Was
it
that
wasn't
like,
anything about my worth either, because I know
yeah,
who I am. It wasn't
yeah.
nothing about that. It was just that, why am I put a price on what God gave me?
That's what I always wonder, because that's a different type of calling that you have on your life.
Mhm.
You can go anywhere, and obviously I'm sure people just stop you or know that you have that type of gift. So it's
Yes.
like, yeah, when do you go? You know what? Hold on, we went past the time of where I'm just supposed to share. Was
Yes.
that a lot of fear of just putting that price on it, or did you just feel like, no, this part of it I don't want to put a price on because that is your gift?
I just didn't want to. And
Mm,
again, no disrespect, with my background, I always felt like, shoot, we just put $10, $20 in the collection plate, and what that mean? My rent due tomorrow.
mhm,
It was just a lot
mm,
of
yeah,
things that, and I just couldn't. I could never. It took me a minute to accept it.
yeah.
It took me a minute. Like I had to accept somebody saying, you need to start taking Medicaid and insurance. Girl, you need your Medicaid for your kids. You need your Medicaid for, my heart, it pumps a little different, if that makes
Mhm,
sense. So
yeah.
it took a minute.
Yeah, no, that's definitely hard. Now that you are in this business, creating this, space for everyone, what are some common struggles that you notice when, your clients come to you, especially in our community, that help you, continue?
Oh goodness, common. I would definitely say, keeping the income in the household, like
Mm,
having a job. Common relationship issues, because sometimes us women, we say we right and half of the time we be wrong. No, I'm just saying like that. But that's the biggest common thing, like relationship, and that's not me stepping on nobody's toes, because um like I just look young. I'm not young, and I've been married over 10 years, so I understand.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I get it. But at the same time, the most common thing, us women, we don't take a lot of accountability for a lot of
Oh,
things when
well,
it comes to when it comes to relationships and things in that nature, and we don't listen for real. We really
Mhm.
mm,
really don't. Men or the spouse speak from a different perspective versus us emotional creatures.
yeah.
So
Mm,
those are the two
that was
most
a
common
word.
things.
Okay.
Those are the two most common things for sure.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's something that's just developed, like you said, you're a little older, you grew up in the church, you've seen women at those stages, especially because I always talk about this. We knew all the mothers of the church, and maybe some of them didn't need a man, they had Jesus, or some of them married for a long time. Do you see now that shift? And that's why you're hearing a lot more of those conversations, like we've gotten away from what we've known. Do you feel like this has been a change in women?
Um, I'm gonna say yes, and then I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
I'm saying in between because I feel like the dominance that, because I'm a alpha female, and a lot of people don't understand what that means. So that means, that, oh, she might be running things and she wearing the pants in the relationship, in the marriage. No, I'm not. I'm
Mhm.
not. But I'm very submissive, but I'm alpha at the same time, and that comes from we looking at our grandparents, we looking at our mother, we looking at what they went through, what they put up with, what they baby, I ain't going through that.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of that, but when we have God in our life, you'll understand. First of all, the softness gonna be there anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
If you are aligned with the correct person. So if you come across somebody and they're dominant and they just not submissive, they don't have no kind of softness nowhere with their person,
Mhm.
they're not aligned properly. I'm not gonna say they not who they supposed to be. They're not who they're supposed to be with. They could be equally yoked, but that don't necessarily mean it's a lot of healing needs to happen. I'm gonna say it like that
Yeah.
because it don't supposed to be like that. But I would say that it's like that. I'm gonna say yes and no. Like I said, yes and no. It comes from what we saw, what we've learned behavior, this, that, and the
Hmm.
third. And now that we're who we are, we grown, we living our own life, and we just feel like that
We
ain't
have
for
to
to
do the
happen to
same.
me.
We're gonna
Mhm.
have the same thing that we saw grandma do. Yeah.
That ain't for to happen to
Yeah,
me,
that's
but
that.
it's I think it's a lot deeper than that too, because
Yeah.
I'm like that too. I have that mindset too, but
Hmm.
I'm submissive too.
Hmm. The right one will make you that way anyway.
Yeah,
So I truly believe that.
yeah.
Now I know you're known for keeping it real. How do you balance compassion with that blunt truth telling, especially with clients who may not be ready to hear it?
I never forget where I come from.
Mm,
I was at a point in time in life where I didn't want to hear nothing. Nobody couldn't tell me nothing. A lot of
yeah.
people couldn't talk to me. But guess what?
Mm,
Everybody talk to me now. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah.
growth and elevation came with that time with healing. But
Hmm.
I never forget where I come from. So I meet
Mm,
people where they're at. And
yeah.
my gift of discernment tell me I
You
can
have
meet
to
a
have that.
person and
Hmm.
you'll know it's just something about that frequency that they give off. That smile could say one thing, but baby, that frequency saying something else. And my discernment lets me know.
Mm,
So
yeah.
because of that, I meet you where you at.
Mhm.
Because you have to.
No, for sure.
Definitely. Especially with dealing with people who are in the business of healing, like constantly having someone kind of dump on you. They're at their most vulnerable, they want to vent to you, all of that. How do you re-regulate yourself in those times? How much time does that take to re-regulate after going through all of those sessions and hearing the worst, or needing someone spiritual guidance? Like, how do you re-regulate?
I'm always grounded. I
Mm,
love water. I'm going to the
mm,
beach. I'm going to some water. I do a lot of praying and I do a lot of meditation.
yes.
And I had to learn over the years to not be a sponge. Long as I understand, not to soak it up
Yeah.
and make it my problem. And, just, just when you're an empath, it's kind of naturally done. But when you learn how to keep that balance, what's good for me and that wasn't
Yeah.
good for me.
Right.
I'm not that person that can be able to just absorb everything that somebody, you know, share with me. I'm not gonna say dump on me with the words that you use because it's called
Yeah.
emotional dumping. And I know that's a no-no. I don't care if it's your friend, your mama, your sister.
Hmm.
We're not supposed to be allowed emotional dumping anyway.
Yeah.
It's a difference in venting. But emotional dumping, you know, but for me, I do a lot of praying and meditation and grounding. I love music. So I that
Yeah.
it's a regular thing for me.
Beautiful. Yeah. You have to have some type of regulatory, realignment because, yeah, I know, like I said, I know people just stop you and it's always something that they're needing guidance with. So
Yeah.
it's hard, like you said, as an empath, not to just carry it with you, think about it later. It follows you into the next session. So it's really good that you stay grounded and know how to get past all of that.
It took time now. It took
Hmm.
time, Miss Brittany. It took time. It
Yeah.
didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight. I found myself plenty of times like, oh my goodness, why I'm feeling like this? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. And when I continue to grow and continue to learn, I'm like, oh shoot, I'm supposed to be doing it like this, you
Yeah.
know. So it took time. It took time.
Now, I know you don't just coach individuals, you create communities. What's been the most rewarding part of holding space for people in this way?
Whew. Seeing the change, being
Hmm.
able to notice that what I bring to the table for whatever the community, I'm gonna say family, because I advocate for the family and advocate for the students as well. So what I bring to the table to help, just being able to see the change, being able to see the growth is like, okay, they heard me, it worked. Because sometimes a lot of people don't be receiving, but
Mm.
I have more yays than nays. So you muted, Miss
You're
Brittany.
muted, Brittany.
Now, I was going to say, isn't that the surprising part of the journey? Knowing that you've really found what you're supposed to do when you're like, no, I'm getting enough yeses. I'm helping people. I'm seeing the change. Like that is the most amazing part of it. But for
Yeah.
me, it's been surprising most of the
Yeah, it's surprising. It was intimidating in the beginning
time.
because, a lot of people, like I said, don't receive. And there was sticky moments where I was dealing with a lot of relationship situations with ladies. And I'm like a Erica Badu in a situation. I'm gonna wake you up
Yeah.
because sometimes we don't be seeing stuff. And when I wake you up, sometimes things kind of change.
Hmm.
In your situation and then in your atmosphere. And then it just depends on how you handle or how receptive you are with the situation, if it's going to go good or if it's going to be toxic. So it was kind of intimidating in the beginning, but that was more of me learning my approach too on how
Yeah.
to do
Okay.
certain things. And because Miss Bluntly spoken, she'll usually just be straight. I don't want to say cutthroat, but just say it. And then
Yeah.
people be like, oh, okay, well, I supposed to stabbed him yesterday. That's not what I said. And then there's another problem. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was a very intimidating in the beginning.
I'm glad you got through that because, yeah, it sounds like a lot to deal with in that space. Like I said, with just people, coming to you for spiritual growth. But I
Mhm.
know you say your motto is coaching with a purpose. Can you break that down for us? What does that mean to you, and how does it show up in your sessions with clients?
Coaching with a purpose. This situation right here with us, this session that we're having is with
Mhm.
purpose. We're not just having this conversation and vibing and thriving like we are with for no reason. We're not wasting each other time. So when they speak with me or when I speak with the youth or my clients, it's with purpose. It's always with purpose. And with
Mhm.
purpose meaning you're getting something out of it.
Yeah.
I'm getting something out of it. When I'm
Mhm.
dealing with those kids, sometimes I'm healing a little childhood part of me. You understand what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah. I love
So
that.
always with purpose. I don't be having time to do it for no other reason. I love to take up time, my man. So I'm not gonna waste nobody's time. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's always with purpose. Always with purpose. And
Hmm.
and it's the coaching part that just came with the certifications. These people made me go put names on stuff. I never
Yeah.
wanted to be in the box at all, but I had to go put titles on things to get I guess a certain type of respect in the business world. But other than that,
It's just your true purpose and your journey, yes, for sure.
mhm,
Mhm.
yes,
But
ma'am.
yeah, they require all of that extra so you can, those
I'm
certifications
serious.
so that people
Yes,
can trust
ma'am.
you.
And pretty much with you having so many gifts and so many certifications and pretty much being a serial creator, if you
Mhm.
will, what are some of the projects that you're currently working on that bring you the most joy nowadays?
Oh goodness. My natural oil fragrances. I am yet I have this, the store is open, but everything is sold out. So creating my natural oils, because that's putting energy into it. That's putting love into it. That's putting, everything and with each oil, the men's, the ladies, the unisex. So my oils is a big thing. And they're 3 in 1 for your hair, your skin, and you can put it in your oil diffuser. You can put it in the
Okay.
fragrance your house. So it's just that healthy enough where you could do all three of them for it, with it or whatever. So that and my Sherrelle sip and spill. I know everybody loves to go to sipping paints.
Yes.
So this would be my third annual where we come together and we're painting, and I'm speaking on the unspoken, but sometimes I might have a guest speaker. Like it's
That's
just different
awesome.
things that I do. But right now, that's an event that I'm working on that's coming up in 2026. But right now would just be the store. Like just getting some, I got a clothing brand that's dropping with my t-shirts and my oils. So that's it. And just pushing my content on TikTok. Cause if y'all not using TikTok, y'all better
I
get on
know. Yeah, I was just
TikTok.
telling her earlier. I was like, yes, we need to be on there more.
Yes, TikTok is a big platform. Like I've met so many people. I've connected with so many people, being able to put me in rooms that a degree wouldn't. I love TikTok for that. But other than that, that's pretty much it. What I got going on right now. I just relocated, moved from Augusta, Georgia, and I've relocated. So other than that, just adjusting and getting everything back rolling.
Okay, I love that. And with you being a creative, do you see that as one of your many gifts?
I didn't know until I realized what I was doing, if that makes sense. And then when I realized what I was doing, that's why I say serial creator, because I do a lot and it never shut off or shut up. So
Mhm.
that's why I get the serial creator from. But I didn't even realize it. I didn't realize it until I realized what I was doing. Nobody makes my logo for me. Nobody makes my labels for my oils for me. Nobody does my business cards. No, I've done everything, and who taught me how to do it? So I didn't know until I realized what I was doing.
Okay, so you don't like how to explain it. So you don't just coach individuals, you create communities. And with you being a creative, how do you weave your creativity with your coaching as well as your ministry? Like, how do they all mend together?
Mm.
So when I do the sip and spills, I'm using my life purpose spiritual coaching part,
Mhm.
the youth minister part, because ministry is ministry, whether it's youth or I guess you're preaching, it's the same thing. So all of that is like the same thing when I'm doing the sip and spills. I'm just on your level. I might be playing some twerking music, but I bet you heard that message I gave you. You might be sipping some wine, but you heard that message that I touch you with that message that I provided. Now with the creations, as far as my shirts and my outfits and stuff, it's a message with everything that I give. So if you purchase it or I'm giving it away for free, when you look at it, it's a message. Even when you get the oils, there's a message behind every oil that I create.
So, with you having such an anointing on yourself, and you obviously, your gift is to give. So, with you pouring into others, what are some things that you do to actually refill your cup and to pour back into yourself?
Like I was telling Miss Brittany earlier, I pray, I meditate, I go to the water. Like I love the beach. I love to go to the water, and God, like is what I where I seek. Because if I'm gonna depend on somebody else to do it, if I'm gonna wait on somebody else to do it, then I'm weak on the Bible. Like my favorite girl, Megan Thee Stallion, say, I'm weak on the Bible if I'm gonna be waiting for somebody else to do it for me. So, I
Yeah.
go to the higher power to refill myself. And I know when it's time, because and we call it solitude, when it's
Mhm.
time to separate myself to restore,
Yeah.
realign, readjust. I take that time for myself. And like I was telling Miss Brittany before, I wasn't before and I didn't know. That was a learning thing for me.
So would you say that's one of your biggest lessons that you've learned so far in your journey?
Yeah. Yes. I would say that. Yes, ma'am, Miss B. I would say that. And understanding the difference of being nice and kind.
Can you explain a little bit for our audience? What is the difference?
Being nice and kind. Being kind is law. God, God asks you to be kind at all times. Be kind. That's law. But nice, I ain't gotta be nice. You better stay out my way. You better leave me alone. You know. But being kind, I have to. I have to lead with kind and love at all times.
Yes, yes, you're absolutely right. Now, what's one moment you thought, yes, this is exactly what I was called to do? What was that moment for you?
Oh, that's a good question, Miss B, because I feel like I'm living in my moment. I'm living in my presence.
Love that.
I was that one that was raised in church. I was a ordained youth minister at a young age, so I was already up on the pulpit with the microphone. I just took, us as young ladies as we go through school, go through if you go to college or whatever, and you get into the club or whatever. I got a story, so I kind of, I say I was the prodigal son for a little bit. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Hmm.
I got a story, but I feel like all of that, those trials and those tribulations and those lessons even equip me even more to be able. That's why I'm able to meet people on their levels,
Yeah.
meet people
Mhm.
on where they're at, with how they speak and where they're, I ain't judging nobody because who am I to judge? So I would
Mm.
say, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm living in my moment. I'm living in the presence. Like this is what I supposed to be doing because this is what I'm doing.
Hmm. Mm. Yes.
Yeah, and then you find at one point, it doesn't really feel like work. It's just something that it's fulfilling.
I
And it's,
can't stand clocking in. But if I'm doing this, I'm
Yeah.
creating my oils, I'm doing my shirts. A client booked me. I got to do something in the community with the kids. Got to go to a school. Got to do a a back to school thing for the kids. Helping somebody do some scholarships for college. I'm thriving. I love it. But I got to
Right.
sit here and clock into somebody's job.
mm,
No, ma'am, I can't stand it.
trust and know. Brittany and myself, we gonna get there soon because this clocking in stuff is it's
It's
for
for
the
the
bird.
birds.
Sure.
Right.
Let's say
Yes,
for the
ma'am.
first.
It's for the birds. Seriously.
Now, I know you're living in the present. You feel like you're experiencing exactly what you're supposed to do. Looking ahead, where do you see your work in the next, say, 3 to 5 years? What visions are you excited to manifest for your
Three to
business?
five, 3 to 5 years
Mhm.
manifestation has me where I'm not clocking in nobody's job.
Yes, ma'am. It's number
And
one on the list.
number one on the list, and I'm fully thriving. I had a taste of it for about 2 years where I did nothing but business. I didn't have to clock in.
Mhm.
So, but I wasn't knowledgeable and I wasn't disciplined in what was given to me and what I needed to be doing. So I
Mm,
had to sit
okay.
down. I had to sit back down and gather it all up again. So when that time come again, I know the do's and the don'ts, and I'm more
Yes.
disciplined in certain areas. So my manifestation in the next couple of years is not working on nobody job and doing exactly what my purpose and my passion is. Just running my business.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
hate to say it like that, but that's what the world call it, business.
Yeah. No, I love that you touched on the lesson that you had to learn and that staying disciplined. And
Mhm.
you said from what you were given, because that really hit home to me. Because I always say like, how dare we have the audacity to think we're going to get it to have another chance doing this?
Yeah.
So you better put your everything into it and stay disciplined in it. But how, now that you learned that lesson, how easy is it for you to stay disciplined now that you've learned it than it was before?
how easy it is, because I was
Yeah.
that child that didn't like to get a whooping. I didn't
Mhm.
like to get in trouble.
Yes,
So you
ma'am.
only got to tell me what
So
but one
Learn
time.
one time.
So oh, okay, I got it. I learned I'm not a person that repeats the lesson. I'm gonna catch it the first time. So I see where I messed up at. I see where I slipped up at. And when it's time, I'm gonna say it like that. I'm gonna be ready. And I'm not gonna drop the ball in those areas because everything is still a learning lesson, but not to the point where I gotta start back clocking in somebody's job. But you get what I'm saying? So yeah. I've learned some lessons. No. Mm-mm.
Okay, I only had to learn once. I love that.
Only once.
That's how you know you're gonna keep thriving though, because yeah,
Yes,
once
ma'am.
you get that hard one,
That's
you're
it.
like, I never want to visit this again. So,
Absolutely. Like, oh my God, I did it that bad. Shoot, them
mhm,
snatched the skin off me.
mhm. I have been there, no joke.
Mhm. Yes,
And if you could
ma'am.
sit down with your younger self, say the teenage Sherrelle, I know you said you're a troubled youth, so I want to hear this for sure. What's one thing you would whisper in her ear?
Girl. That's a good question, Miss Brittany. That's a good question. So I would tell the teenage me. Oh my goodness. I got so many avenues, but let me see. Let me be just to the point. This trouble don't last always. This is just for a moment. Grasp the lesson and just keep going. Keep going. Don't make your friends. Keep going. That ain't your man. Keep going.
Keep going.
Just keep going, girl. Grab the lesson. Keep
Yes.
going.
Hmm.
That's I think that would be my overall. Keep going. Trouble don't last always. It's all right. It's all right.
That, hey, if we could get that in our heads a lot sooner, especially in our teenage years, I think we would all have been just in a safer space within ourselves, right? That's what all that
Yes,
growth
ma'am.
is, of course. But when the next trial or tribulation comes, you did learn something, but it's hard to face it again. Like you said, you did a lot of things on your own to get to this space, to have yourself go back and, keep going because all the times you want to quit, all the things that you go through, like you said, those friends, that
Yep.
man especially,
Yep.
those are lessons we had to learn a couple times, but it's okay.
Yep. Especially those friends, girl. Especially those friends.
It that's
The
that's the
friends
hard
was worse
part.
for me. The
Hmm.
friends was worse for me. So hey,
No, that's the hard part because building the community that at least thinks the way that you want to, or like with your business now, like how do you build that community? I know you said your family's involved, but like how do you keep this going, and what's that network and community look like for you now?
in the beginning it was bad. It was toxic. Like I felt like everybody was supposed to still just be the friend, but it was really I wasn't supposed to be connected to them on that level. It was being connected to them for a different reason or a different purpose. And as I continued to grow, then I understood what everybody's purpose was. Because I'm one of them good friends. I'm real, when you come across one of the ones that remind you of you, if that makes sense. So I would say I had to really learn that everybody not your friend. Everybody have a purpose of when they come on your path. And
Yeah,
when I
and a
learned that,
season.
in the definitely a season. And when I
Hmm.
learned that and just was like, okay, cool. Now I don't have friends. I'm a popular loner. I found my best friend and my man. I got two earth angels. See, I won't even call them friends.
Mm.
And anybody else that I'm connected to, we business.
Mm. You do have to compartmentalize and realize, like you said, everyone's purpose.
Yep.
So everything you do with purpose, everything with intention. Yes.
Yep.
And that discernment piece for sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
That's true. That is so true. I had to.
How do you help others identify whether they are setting their goals that are truly meaningful versus like that checklist that you have to do?
So depending on where they're at, Again, I meet them where they're at because some people be, different levels. So I meet them where they're at. And usually I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not nothing like a religion where I'm forcing my belief on you, but I'm gonna have it where, what is it, the provocative thought process, where you gonna be trying to wait. I ain't think about it like that. Like I awaken certain things. I bring a lot of awareness. It may seem like I'm giving you the answer, but that's only you only know that. So I meet you where you at, and I pour into you. If we got to do some research and we need to read the Bible together, we need to do some deeper reading outside of the Bible because there's other books that we need to be reading too, but not just the Bible. Then we do that too. But you will find that. You will find a lot of those answers. I'm not gonna give it to you. If that makes sense to you, like I'm not just gonna give you the answer. I can't. Ain't nobody give me the answer,
I
So
think about that part all the time when you're
mhm,
helping people. Like, well, how much do you involve yourself? Because you're also going to remove the lesson that God put on them as well.
right. It wasn't a
Sometimes
conference
stepping in.
call.
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
just awakening you. I'm just bringing some
Mhm.
awareness. I'm just razzle dazzling, like I love to say, abracadabra. I'm just putting a little bit of sprinkle to it, and then you're gonna be like, light bulb.
Mhm. As you have to.
Hmm.
Go ahead, sis.
So I wanted to ask you, Sherrelle, pretty much, what legacy would you like to leave behind as far as your ministry and your coaching? What does that look like?
That I was a part of the change. That I'm part of the
Mm.
change. I didn't just speak about it. I lived it because it's a lifestyle. Um, it's okay to be your authentic self and being bluntly spoken. And bluntly spoken is not a disrespectful thing. So just, oh my goodness, like it could be done, and
Mhm.
everything I don't want to say it's self-taught, but if you heal and you know find God within, then you'll be able to understand that you weren't just put here to just go to work and pay some bills.
Mm-hmm. Say that. Wasn't here for that. It's not our purpose.
No, it's deeper than that.
For
That's
Yeah.
sure.
just the surface.
No, for
I do
sure.
have one last question. This question
Okay.
always trip up everybody. I just don't want to mess it up. So, if you had to title your memoir based on your journey so far, what would it be titled and why?
um hmm, how I turn my pain into power, because everything that I'm doing is from what I've been through. Like that's the like they say, who you admire or who inspire you. And I'd be like, my
Mhm.
own story. Because
Mm.
I know where I've been. I know what I went
Mhm.
through. I know all of the darkness. I know all the crime, I know all of that
Yeah.
stuff. So I would say m- turning my pain into power. I use my pain and birthed it into something to help the next person.
Yeah. Thank you. I
Love
had to write that down and
it.
birthed it. I
Yes.
love that. And birthed it to,
Yes.
build this business. And yes, definitely empower others, create a space where they have somewhere to go. Because, like
Yes.
you were stating before, I feel like that's the healing piece that we're missing in our community, especially now. So I'm so thankful that you are stepping into your purpose, following God's word and your journey here to help others. We truly want to give you your flowers, Sherelle. And just kind of other question I kind of want to bring up, she real. We talked about it a little bit earlier today. um, but like you said, your alter egos and the way that you were able to get through all of this and help others. What does she mean to you?
What she means to me,
Hmm.
she means to me like just awesome, like
Hmm.
just powerful, like a genie, like
Yeah.
I think they call them oh goodness, I can think like almost chameleon, but it's another word for it. They say shape shifting. So somebody that can, I can vibe in any atmosphere because I never forgot where I came from either. So kind of,
Mm.
I don't know. That
I love that.
she
Yes.
she is powerful. She different. She unique. My initials before I got married is SVS, someone very special. So
I
I was
love
named
that.
at birth. So
Yes.
so hey,
Yes.
you know.
That is beautiful. And thank you
And
so much.
Sherrelle is Haitian Creole. That's my background. And that's how
Ah,
they would pronounce it. That's why when you said it, I
yeah.
was like, hey, nobody
You're
knows
like, how'd
that.
you know that? Yeah. Yes, beautiful. SBS. Yes, ma'am. You definitely are very special. Now, we
Thank
want to
you.
give everyone time to make sure that they know how to follow you, what you will be doing next, and how we can get into some of these sessions and really start rebuilding our community.
Yes, ma'am. So actually, I made it real simple, and I gotta say this. I made it. I got this idea because I am a Megan Thee Stallion fan. Okay, okay, everybody heard that. So in one of her interviews, she said it was a freestyle interview, and they was like, "How can everybody reach you? And how would people be able to find you?" And da da da. She say, "Well, my website and my handles is blah 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 blah." So mine is the same thing everywhere. Was
Perfect.
Coach Miss Bluntly Spoken. Even if you
Yes.
pull up Linktree, you're gonna say Coach MRS because it's Miss, put a handle on it, bluntly spoken, and Facebook Coach Miss Bluntly Spoken. The only thing that I switched up a little bit was on Twitter. I used my name Sherrelle because it's again one of my biggest platforms, so I had to use my
Yeah.
government name. So I put Sherrelle, your personal coach, kind of, but the at is still Coach Miss Bluntly Spoken. So if you Google it, you pull up the website, everything is under Coach Miss Bluntly Spoken. And I'm doing business as Coach Miss Bluntly Spoken is too. That's what it's registered as.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. So definitely reach out to her. Spiritual growth, your journey, any type of coaching assistance that you may need. She is one of a kind, very, very special person. We're so happy to have you tonight. And B, did you want to go ahead and do our closing?
Yes, I just wanted to say thank you everyone for watching, for your continued support as always. And Sherrelle, thank you so much for your time, for your patience, but most importantly, just sharing with all of us a piece of who you are and what you have to offer in this world. And we are so very grateful. We just wanted to give you your
Mm,
flowers. And we thank you so much for joining us. And we hope you enjoy the rest of your night.
Yes, ma'am, ladies. Thank you so much for having me. It
thank
was my
you.
pleasure. But I will be in touch. I'm gonna send y'all some good
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, for sure.
Thanks.
Thank
yes,
you
ma'am.
guys.
Y'all stay blissful.
You guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Again, join us next week, every Friday, Sister Soul Sessions. It has been a wonderful time. Good one.